Hey guys, it's me Shane, and happy holidays. Like I told you, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and review four Christmas movies this month. Tell you what happened in them, give you my opinion, give them kind of a review. One of the things I really wanted to do was try to find at least one or two Black Christmas movies, and luck so has it that a brand new Netflix Christmas movie, Jingle Jangle: A Christmas Journey, actually came out 2 weeks ago. I just watched it today. I watched it earlier today. Want to give you my thoughts on it. I want to see what happened. I want to talk about the pace, the visual, the story, the characters, some of the subtleties, and just some of the things I thought about as I was watching it. After I watched it, I'm gonna do things differently because unlike my anime reviews, I'm not gonna go exactly play by play. I'm gonna touch on it, so there's gonna be some slight stories, but let's try not. To, I'm gonna try not to make this as long as my Project Power video. Ha. So let me just go ahead and get right into it. But the director and writer of this film was David E. Talbert, a black man. His first directorial debut movie was called First Sunday, starring some little known actors like Ice Cube, Tracy Morgan, Cat Williams. Apparently, he's been noted to write and direct other movies, but this was called his first big directorial debut. Other movies he's done was called Baggage Claim and two other Christmas movies. One called Almost Christmas, another one called El Camino Christmas. That was 2016, 2017. Now we have 2020 Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey. So what's Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey? Well, in this movie, we begin with two young children, black boy, black girl. The young girl sees, it kind of looks like will-o-wisp, or sees like fairies dancing in the fire, and her brother does not see anything. He says, "You're making it up. Stop going on with this." And when the grandmother, played by Felicia Rashad, comes in to read them a story, she's going to read them one of my favorite Christmas stories, A Christmas Carol. But she says, "I'm going to read you something different." And she brings out this big, elaborate book that has springs and it's moving and it's turning. She says, "I'm going to tell you the story of Jeronicus Jingle." Opens the book, and wonderful, wonderful visuals. The a lot of the what I'm looking for uh, when it comes to the pacing and the shifting from scene to scene, a lot of it's done with this. It looks like puppets. It's almost like stop motion, but it's very, very well done. Very, very seamless. Looks amazing and astounding. And in this tale, she speaks of how this man, Jeronicus Jingle, was a inventor, one of the greatest inventors. The setting is kind of vague. I'm imagining that it's in London because some of the children and some of the people have British accents. Yes, the black people have British accents, while others just have normal American accents. And he was a great inventor. He was making things. He eventually started have a big toy front. He would give toys away, and he had an apprentice named Gustafon, who he was working on this gyroscopic toy that seemed to always break for whatever reason. And in the scene that we see Veronicus, his young daughter Jessica, his wife, whose name I didn't get, unfortunately, but we see them, and as soon as he gets this package that's going to be revolutionary to help him make this big toy, we break in a song. So it is most definitely a Christmas musical, and the songs in this movie are really good. I hearken them. I instantly thought of Hamilton. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, and I'm going to be also completely honest with you, I didn't hate Hamilton. Hamilton was okay. I like this a lot better. Uh, just breaks in the song. Great song. Not gonna tell you the song about because I want you guys to watch this movie. And within this little thing, he has this special magical ability where he can see these equations in the sky. If you're familiar with, I don't know, Lord of the Rings, or even Dungeons and Dragons, he kind of appears to be kind of like a wizard. He can see the equations. He can move things in his mind. And his little daughter Jessica, she copies her father, and it's lovely. and he makes this self-aware toy called Don Juan Diego, played by Ricky Martin. Uh, and he's saying, soon I'll make more of you, and children all over will be happy. Don Juan does not like this. Don Juan wants to be the only one. And Don Juan soon cons Gustafon, who, when you see the beginning of the film, it appears as if Jeronicus is kind of pushing Gustafon to the side. He's like, do this, and your toy will work. I'll get to you. I promise. We'll do this and this. And Diego is able to con Gustafon into not only stealing him, but stealing Jeronicus' books of inventions and ideas that he has not put out yet. And when Jeronicus comes back to give him a present and give him food because he considers his apprentice family, he finds that he is gone, and that is where the downfall happens. Unfortunately, Jeronicus, he is unable to see the magic anymore after having a loss of his books and his inventions. Soon he loses his wife, and then, she passes away, and he then pushes away his daughter as she gets older. And of course, Gustafon starts becoming the greatest toy maker of all time. And if you have to pay attention to the passage of time, because then Jeronicus is played by Forrest Whitaker. Older Jeronicus is played by Forrest Whitaker. And it appears that 30 years have gone by. Jessica has gotten, she got married. She had a daughter. Well, I'm assuming she got married, but she had a daughter. Daughter's name is Journey. And we are quickly met with one of my favorite characters, Miss Johnston. Miss Johnston, for lack of better words, has the hots for Jeronicus, and the way she shows her affection is so wonderful and so lovely. Easily my favorite character in this movie. She always put a smile on my face and made me laugh. I'm going to get more on her and her song and everything later. We find that Jessica only said that her and her daughter would visit her father once, if he invites them. And unfortunately, the banks are looking to, he has to pay them back. For whatever reason, they gave him 30 years, and he has tons of bills, and they're saying, you got to come up with something great that you promised us, or, on Christmas, I'm gonna have to put you out, my friend. And he finds this book that his daughter was writing her own invention, wants to bring to life her invention called Buddy 3000. But unfortunately, he knows that he can't do it without her. And soon, Jessica gets a letter. She sends her daughter, Journey, who can also see the magic as well. She's able to make the script. Jessica was very much so an inventor just like her father, and that passed along to Journey. Journey is finally able to convince her grandfather to accept her when he sees a picture of Jessica, and he breaks down and so on and so forth. Jeronicus also has a young apprentice named Edison. Edison is more or less the comic relief in this movie. He always bumps his head. He's very goofy, but he says what's on his mind. He kind of annoys me. He's kind of the bumbling. Hey, call him the bumbling black kid trope, but he kind of is. He reminds me of Lucas from Stranger Things in season 1, where Lucas was just always afraid of everything and saying, we shouldn't do that, let's not do that. But Edison has his moments. As time goes along, turns out Gustafon has used everything out of the book that Jeronicus had, and this is what happens when you don't have your own ideas and you steal from others, or as Diego says, borrow indefinitely from other people. You don't have your own ideas. And he tries to market his original toy, but it broke, and people are losing faith in him. He is 28-time Toy Maker of the Year. And he comes up with the idea of, Diego comes up with the idea of telling him, once a great inventor, always a great inventor. Just steal whatever Jeronicus is making right now. Or should we say, borrow indefinitely what he's making right now. Well, through several things and mishaps, Journey finds she has a great interaction with her grandfather where, he asks her, and I actually want to look to my notes for this. I love they have this, magic in a lot of movies has a lot of nonsense, and sometimes they don't even bother explaining it. but the special language, the special things that they see are like the circumference of spectacular, or the second derivative of sensationalist, and it's the square root of possible. That is the language that when Jeronicus writes down, those are the things that he is seeing, and Journey can see these things as well. Unfortunately, her grandfather has lost that ability, and through some mishaps and things happening, she's able to get Buddy 3000 working again. Buddy 3000 only works if you believe he will work. So when Veronica shows up, he's upset that Edison and Journey have messed with things. He had her sign a contract in invisible ink that can only be shown through a UV light. You won't touch or break or steal anything. Something that he had to learn his lesson from Gustafon. And they get this toy to work. Of course, Gustafon is spying. He has an interaction. After this, he has an interaction with Journey, trying to convince her to tell him what's going on and where's the invention at. Uh, one of the best songs actually comes after they try to get Veronicus to believe that that the toy will work, because he has a great song, does great visual moments of seeing into the past. It is fantastic. Probably my favorite song. Probably the one of the two moments that brought me close to tears. And eventually, Gustafon finds Edison, easily tricks Edison because he badmouthed Jeronicus and he said no. You know, he has this great thing. Of course, he steals Buddy. They have to go back and get Buddy. Jeronicus is met with some help from Mrs. Johnston. Mrs. Johnston calls him Jerry, and one of the things that Jeronicus always says, "Why won't anyone call me by my name?" Journey calls him Grandpa J. Uh, Other people just call him the greatest inventor around. He wants someone to call him by his name. And one of the cutest moments is when she is giving Jeronicus a ride to Gustafon's giant factory, because he knows that's where the children are going, because this jerk has flyers everywhere saying, "Get ready to see the great Buddy 3000 toy I have." And of course, Jeronicus knows, oh, this guy stole it. That's where the kids went. I have to find them. I don't want to lose anyone else, right? And a great moment is when Mrs. Johnson says, "When you're in my car, you're Jerry." She loves calling him Jerry. Again, her interactions with him are amazing. Uh, eventually, eventually, Dronicus learns to believe again. He gets his magic back when his granddaughter says that she loves him and that she needs him, and he even says he loves her back. It goes at one point in time when the buddy didn't work at a display that went horribly wrong for Gustafon, whose older Gustafon is played by Keegan Michael Key. He just says he doesn't care. He lets them handle it. But of course, the ever conniving Diego says, "Why would they want something that doesn't work?" And he's very abusive to him. He smacks him and everything. But again, he's a toy, so he doesn't have much force of hurting him. They get back Buddy. They get back Buddy. Mrs. Johnson stayed around to help Jeronicus. Eventually, she calls Jeronicus by name, and we get a nice little sing harkening back to when she wanted him to give her a mistletoe kiss, and she told him he needs to lighten up. He gives her the kiss. We get a great moment, and he's determined. We get one of my favorite song is when he's determined to fix Buddy, because Buddy helped the children escape, and he's determined to fix his daughter's invention. And Jessica said that she was going to come and pick up Journey, and they have this great heart to heart where he reveals that I've always wrote you letters. I just didn't send them. He never blamed her for her mother's passing. He never blamed her for what happened. Of course, she stays and helps him. That she's going to stay through Christmas with Journey. They have a great moment where they get him working again, where they get Buddy working again. And I know I skipped over some parts, but I'm gonna get to these parts. I hope I remember them, because these are some really good parts I want to talk about. Eventually, Gustafon shows up with the police, trying to say that he stole his invention. He had the paperwork, and Journey, being the ever brilliant girl, Once she had that first meeting with Gustafan, she wrote Veronica's names in the invisible ink on the paper because she had a feeling he would try to steal it. After he is promptly thrown, but before he's thrown in jail, Jeronicus brings him the gift that he was going to give him 30 years ago. It was the gyroscope to fix his toy. And he told him, son, I would have told you everything if you would have had some patience. So after this, his friend that works with the bank comes in and is ready to deliver bad news, but he doesn't have to because Buddy 3000 comes in. Because of the power of belief and hope, he's able to fly and make other people fly. Uh, at some point in time, Veronicus does call Edison. First, he says he's not an inventor, but he gives him props and tells him he's an inventor because he comes up with a way for him and Journey to escape from Gustafon's factory. And that is the end of that tale. But it is quickly revealed that the one reading the story, when she shows her hair, because Journey has lots of gears in her hair, Felicia Rashad is the older Journey. She is Grandma Journey. She's talking to her grandchildren, and they're saying, "Well, how come you never told us this before?" You have to wait for you. You know, they had to wait on them to see the magic because the magic has been waiting for them the whole time. Turns out that Geronicus has Gustafon's old factory. It's completely rebuilt. Instead of a J, it's a G. They Buddy shows up again. We get a wonderful, touching visual of when Buddy looks at her. She's back to being the young Journey, but she goes back to being Felicia Rashad to help her grandchildren fly to the factory. And we get a great. The first ending credits is of that book style. So I just I just gave you a hour and 59-minute movie in 17 minutes. Very great movie. I purposely left out a lot of parts. I purposely didn't tell you where the singing happened, but I'm going to touch on some things. So, pace. The pace was fantastic. We go from seeing young Geronicus to older Geronicus, young Jessica, older Jessica. It goes amazingly well, especially when they're explaining what's happening through that visual of the pop-up mechanical book. Mwah, great. And along with the pace, and I mentioned the visual, was the kind of the story. The story is somewhat original, but I can see how it is very a Christmas story. Not a Christmas story, but a Christmas Carol e. You know, we get this Scrooge like character. He still loves Christmas, but he's lost so much that he's grown hard. He's kind of heartless and cold, and he's very very stubborn. Uh, Very original. To me, it's an original story. I get the vibes, but I haven't seen anything like this. Another thing I want to point out: all people of all races in here. Yeah, it's a predominantly black cast, but my God, I saw Asian people in this Victorian street, which when I saw one of his letters, it said 1880. So I'm assuming they're in the late 1880s, early 1900s. We see we see Asian folks, we see Latino folks, we see black people, and the black people aren't forced to have straight hair. They have natural hairstyles. Brilliant, amazing. The colors in this movie. Colors also help tell this story. Gustafon's main colors are green and gold. If you know anything about Christmas, you know Christmas main colors are red, green, and gold, with a little bit of blue, sometimes pink, and recently we get a lot of black. His tone of green, of course, it deals with greed. When we see others green, it's the secondary tone, but Dronicus has this great blue and gold. His outfit gets dull when his heart is hurt, but that's one of the subtle things I want to talk about. Excuse me, one of the subtlety things I want to talk about. When Journey starts kissing him, if you don't pay attention, his colors on his clothing start to pop. Anyone that has belief and magic in their heart, their colors are bright. Mrs. Johnston's blue and red outfit, love it. Fits her bubbly personality, and it's kind of strange. She can tell what's in people's letters without having to open them. She has a bit of magic herself, and kind of harkens back to the magic that we see that the granddaughter has and the grandson has when they can see the fires, the Will-O-Wisp dance within the fire. So there's an untapped story behind the magic that's in this world. If he wanted to make more stories that connect to this, I wouldn't be surprised if this part of London, made up steampunk London, is connected to wherever the heck Scrooge is, because it seems like a lot of magical stuff happens around Christmas. Characters are very well done. This is definitely black girl power to the max, and it's wonderful. It's great to have loving, intelligent black women of different ages. I'm just Journey wasn't annoying in the slightest. Jessica, when she was younger, to the point when she's older, wasn't annoying. Uh, it's also encouraging because Veronica says to Journey, when you grow up, you don't, as long as you don't lose your imagination. Children's imagination is not something to be thrown away lightly, and you won't ever lose that as long as you keep believing. It is very encouraging of the sciences of engineering for young women, especially young black women. Wonderful story. Another thing I kind of paid attention to was how it is fostering for young black men. Gustafon, he kept feeling like he was being pushed aside, and that kind of he was able to be easily swayed to doing the wrong thing. One of the greatest things was Edison. Edison never stopped believing in this great man, and while he was hurt by some of the words he may have said, he still kept believing in him. And when he was encouraged by him, it meant the world of him. He openly hugged Jeronicus, and Jeronicus hugged him back. Uh, Journey has some great lines in here. One of the lines, two of the lines, and I'm going to try to find these. I know this video is getting long. Edison says, the professor couldn't get this to work. What makes you think you can? And she says, there's nothing that says I can't do it. Amazing. Another thing, Edison says, we can't do this, we can't do this. She says, whether you can or can't, if you say whether you can do something or can't do something, whatever you say, you're going to be right in the end. Some folks may see them as one liners. I love that. I said that is wonderful to have someone say that, especially someone so young. Uh, I was mentioning subtlety. Subtlety was dealing with the colors and what they represent for the characters. Uh, I already mentioned that. The Her name's Journey. It's called A Christmas Journey. He was sent a journey, and he went on a journey with Journey to find himself. Amazing. If you don't have someone if you have somebody you want to make up with, or if you don't have someone you want to make up with, this makes you want to make up with everybody. Just great about being open about yourself and your feelings and your emotions. Um, is there anything else I'm missing? One of the things that I was mentioning with pace is when Mrs. Johnston has her song. There's three guys that are singing background for her. Apparently everybody knows and can see the singing. It's kind of like a Muppet Christmas Carol where she breaks down the song. He's like, "No, please don't sing." He's like, "Now there's background dancers too," and he even makes note of them. He's saying, "Oh, you guys really are a group." The funny moments do not ruin this movie. They're perfectly laced and perfectly paced. This movie gets my 5 out of 5. This is in my Christmas rotation. Does it beat my favorite Christmas movie? I'll let you know after I watch it another 10 times, because I've seen my favorite Christmas movie, which I won't reveal what it is. At least I watch it at least 5 times during Christmas, and this has been since 2005. So yes, very wonderful movie. You could even argue that it could not be a Christmas movie, but throughout this whole time, everyone says Merry Christmas. It's around that Christmas time. It's around that point of giving and feeling and loving. Tells a great tale of have patience. If you feel like you're being pushed aside, you're not. And I really thought that Geronicus was pushing Gustafon to the side, but he really wasn't. He has so much that he's trying to do, but he never did forget about him. And one thing I will note before letting you guys go, not once did Geronicus blame Gustafon for everything that happened. Not once did he say to Journey or Jessica, if it wasn't for that guy stealing my stuff, I wouldn't be in this. No. Only thing he cared about was the fact that his wife passed, that he lost his daughter, and that he he wants to be more part of his granddaughter's life, like he should have been part of his daughter's life, and that it says a lot. He didn't forget what he did, but he didn't let what Gustafon do rule his entire being. Yeah, he became old and crotchety and mean to a certain extent, but he never once said this. If it wasn't for this moment, I wouldn't be like this. He was just the way he was, and it just took some time to get him back to who he was. So, Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey, 5 out of 5. It's on Netflix. Please take the time to watch it. It's a really great time. Guys, let me know what you think. If you've seen them, if you've seen the film, let me know what you think down below. Are you going to see the film based on my review? I really hope you are. Please give it a watch. Leave a comment down below. So thank you, everybody. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I got 3 more of these coming out for you, and 2 of them might be films that you're very familiar with. Please remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified of more of these wonderful Christmas videos. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you have a good week and a good weekend. Remember, be good, be blessed. Wear a mask, wash your hands. Black Lives Matter. And I will definitely be seeing you next time.